That's fine.
Anybody in the waiting room.
That's what we're gonna find out next. Let's make it big. Let's go. That's scary. But it's not, the owl's not hooked up. Why isn't the owl hooked up? That was the whole thing. Everybody loves this owl. And that was the whole thing, was where you had this owl, and it worked last week because you were on the other end. Oh, Mason. Okay.
There it comes.
Yeah, but it's still not owl. It's still not using this owl.
Oh, there's Mason.
Hi, Mason.
Oh,
Oh,
no, that's not.
It's zooming.
oh,
Oh, I don't know.
okay, we're gonna just
Trying
cancel
to
that.
install it.
Oh, no,
No.
we're gonna cancel that. Okay. Glad you found us, Mason. I don't know why the owl's not working, and we'll see who else might wanna come, however this works, but, okay, welcome. This wasn't how I was gonna be starting tonight. And Alan, what's the owl? That owl, it makes the whole, everybody's face come up.
Right, it follows whoever's talking, and you can see it when you're at home.
Yeah.
It just follows this.
And that was the whole reason, part of why we're in this room is because this is where the owl is, and, yeah. But anyway, I have all kinds of things for you guys today. I was putting away my Hebrew class things, and then the computer issue. So welcome to a smaller, cozy group tonight. We'll see if more people come. But I have all kinds of things going on here for tonight. And if anybody needs the book, I have some of them. And I brought a whole bunch of books as well. You don't have to bring the books to class, no. If you did, that's fine. And I hope it's okay if I'm not standing right here, but yeah. That's another thing with the owl, I don't have to be seen. So I have this crazy thing for books. My classroom is overflowing with books. My house is overflowing with books. Books are everywhere. And Rabbi Zohar asked me last week to start a book list. Little did he know what he was asking of me. But I did, I started a book list. It's on my computer, but I'm gonna transfer it to a Google Doc and share it so that everybody can see my book, the book. These are books that I would recommend or that I like for different topics within Judaism. But I know that some of you also have been delving into books. And so please add to my list or make comments if you see. But I printed out how it looked this afternoon and then I added to it. So there's already, my list already has more than this, but I'm gonna do some. And so Mason, I'm just gonna send you all these things afterwards, if that's okay. All right, or it'll get sent to everybody, but yeah, and so you're just getting my arm because this is a weird Zoom configuration, but I have a book list if anybody wants. I brought actually kind of a wagon full of some of these books as well. And if you are book crazy like me, and you would like books, it's time for me to downsize some of my books. So over the course of the year, I'm happy to pass them on to someone who will love them. Because there's some I will never get rid of, but there are others that are good and they're sitting on my shelf and it's time for somebody to have them and enjoy them. So we can figure out a way to do that. I think the ones I brought today are not, I'm not giving out yet, but we could start. My classroom is at the end of the hall for 7th grade. Emily might remember. I remember. It's the same room. But so I actually have a bookshelf in my classroom now with books that I can get rid of or that I have more than one copy of that are already please take. And I've been telling the 7th graders for like 2 years, take. But I have other books on my shelves in there and that I have at home that it's just time to pass them on. So this is a good group that might like some, but I have a book list if you're interested. Okay, so yeah, we can pass it around. As for pencils, and there was lined paper somewhere from Hebrew class, if we find it, then, oh, if anybody wants paper, there's pencils. We can pass the pencils around if anybody needs one. Tonight's topic for class, and it is if anybody wants paper, you can just pass it around. Oh, there's some that went down, actually. Okay, this is just coming back. So tonight's topic, is truly one of my favorites. I spent, thank you, hours trying to figure out how we could do all of this in just an hour. Because tonight we're talking about how we should live our lives. The topic is really values and midot. The Jewish values, they're teaching us how we should be. Torah, so many things come from Torah, and we'll be getting there. But when humans were created according to our stories, and how we'll talk when we get to more about how we look at our Torah stories, whether that they are stories and not necessarily fact and history. But Torah says that humans were created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Yeah, we did a little bit in Hebrew tonight about how the bit, the front, means in or with. So it's in the image of God. But what does that mean, in the image of God? Well, if God acts, if God can act, but so Torah tells us God clothes the naked. What happened? Adam and Eve suddenly realized they were naked and God gave them clothes. God feeds the hungry. God welcomes the stranger. All of these things we learn in Torah. So if this is what God does, then this is what we should do. So in order to act b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God, we need to be good people and do the right thing. So we're going to delve into what that means tonight. We aren't going to get to everything I want to do because there's just so much, but we're going to be reading some text. We're going to start with some Torah text. Then we're going to look at some quotes. And I have it here to share the screen so that Mason, you can see along. I already had that open. All right, we'll just share everything because then I can show you where we're going to start right there. Oops, I just closed it up. Okay. So we're going to start with the holiness code, and everybody can see it now, but I also have it. We're going to pass this out. So in the book of Leviticus, smack in the middle of Torah. Torah is this big, heavy scroll. If you've ever lifted it, it's very heavy. Beginning of the year, the end of the year, it's very unbalanced. Yet when we're in the book of Leviticus, we're right in the middle. And the Torah is much easier to hold and to carry. The book of Leviticus is full of so many rules and laws. There's one section of them that talk about how we should be. It's all throughout Torah, it tells us how we should be. But we call this section the holiness code. So we're going to take a look at the holiness code. We're just going to read the beginning together, and then you're going to get in either pairs or groups, and hopefully one or two of you will come here and partner with Mason. And you're going to talk about what this really means. Because in studying Jewish texts and studying in Judaism, It's not something that we do in isolation by ourselves. We generally have a study partner, or we have a group, or we have a class. But I'm not here to lecture. That's not the way that I do things well. We're gonna be learning together. I'm gonna be learning from you, you're gonna be learning from me, we're gonna all be learning from our text. So we're gonna read the first section together, and then the rest of it you'll read separately. Who would like to read the first 4 verses? This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. We're gonna read verses 1 through 4, then we'll skip, and you'll look at it with your partners at verses 9 through 18 and 32 to 35. Who would like to read 1 through 4? Okay, but loud, actually, I'm gonna have you come here so that Mason can hear you read, if you don't mind, because then we don't have the owl, or else everyone could, or we could do a microphone if you want. You can come over here and read, thank you.
Okay. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, the Eternal your God, am holy. You shall each revere your mother and your father and keep my Sabbaths. I, the Eternal, am your God. Do not turn to idols or make molten gods for yourselves. I, the Eternal, am your God."
Thank you. Thank you. So, you shall be holy. What does that mean? Just like we're created in the image of God, what does that mean? What does it mean to be holy? So that's what you're going to try and delve into in a small group, either 2, 3, even up to 4 people. What does it mean to be holy, and why do we need to act that way? So from this text, and there's other texts that we will look at other texts for other things, but you're gonna look at that. Okay. You guys want to? Yeah. I thought I could get you to do that. Okay. So we'll take a few minutes. Let's see, what is our time? Maybe like 10 minutes. So you may not get to the whole thing. You may only get to even like 4 or 5 verses, and that's okay. When we study text, it's always okay to go deeper, or to try and find a different answer. And you don't need to feel like, oh, I have to rush and get through all of these. Or you can skip around, however you want to do it. We'll take about 10 minutes because I have some other things that we're going to be doing. Okay, and you guys can jump over here. All right. Yeah, so.
Okay.
You can jump
Hi, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Hi.
I'm Chris, and this is
I'm
Emily.
Emily. Nice to meet you. Chris and Emily. It's nice to meet you guys. All right.
So we're starting with 19:9.
19:9. Okay. When you read the
Mason, can you see the screen? Is that okay? Yeah, we're sharing screen.
I can. I only can see to 15 though. That's as far as it goes for me.
I'm
I'm literally just viewing what there it is. Yeah.
trying to figure out, as you're reading them, why are they there? Why is it turn? Is that better?
Starting at
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All right, so when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest.
You'll gather the gleanings of your harvest.
Yeah.
So to me,
You have to
I
say
feel that would
10%
mean that you are not,
And then you don't pick up the gleanings either, you give them.
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Things that.
Well, I think like sitting on to the next verse, like you shall not dig your vineyard bare together the fallen fruit of your vineyard children or poor in the stranger. Like it goes through to that, like I am, there's someone else in the vineyard.
Admit.
Pauline, I'm gonna admit someone else while he is under the vineyard.
Who was that?
Wally.
Oh, good, yeah, Wallace is the one who asked, so you're gonna get somebody else in your, you can,
Yeah.
perfect, thank you, you guys are awesome. You could be my helper anytime.
Hello, Wally, welcome.
He's enforcing
Me, I literally
Yeah,
came to mine as like less rural and more.
Buddy's last week.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell.
That's
Shall
it.
not steal.
Yeah, I'm very.
Oh, it's so loud. Yeah, it's just literal and more like don't
Love it, love
just
it.
follow yourself.
Yeah, later we'll catch up.
No,
but
Yeah.
it's not to
Yep.
say anything.
Okay,
It's
I'm
so,
trying to make some mistakes in the back of that.
hi
Yeah.
Wally, can you hear us?
Thank you.
Right now we're reading these verses from Leviticus and giving our personal interpretations of them.
I'm sorry, Mason, what were you saying?
This is something.
Oh, but like I thought it's less of like a literal thing and more of like using emotional resources. So like don't
You know,
engage like literally until you have nothing left, but make sure that you have something to keep going with.
Absolutely.
That's how I read it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think part of that is also like talking about respecting the earth and what God has given.
Yeah, and like not taking like the best of your crop for yourself,
Yeah.
giving it to others.
Yeah.
I've also heard like, Pauline, I'm not totally sure what to call it, but I have heard like, based on this version of Leviticus, like the longer strands of hair that like Orthodox Jews have come from this verse in terms of like like cutting like the four corners. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's.
I know it's not cutting the fourth. It's something we can look up for the math.
Like it's symbolic for that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
or rabbi
But, yeah.
something.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, but that's good. Some of them I'll know, some.
I thought I might have a cool fact with her that I
It
could.
is, you've got a cool fact, I just don't know.
Yeah, it was legitimate.
No, of course, it is, because it's, there's so many interpretations of so many things. So no, it is legit. Even if you're the first one to say it, it's legit.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
It's your, it's interpretation, and it could, you know, came from somewhere, and it maybe you know where. And that's cool.
There you go. You shall not steal, you shall not deal deceitfully or falsely with one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name, profaning the name of your God. I am the Arrow. So like to me, and like I was raised in like a Roman Catholic ideology, like sounds very similar to the Ten Commandments and stuff. So far, at least like following someone in, which makes sense that like they would line up. I mean, it is the same text.
Yeah. So I think that these are kind of the more like obvious ones where it's, you know, obviously like, like not stealing, not taking from other people what doesn't belong to you. And I think that also goes with,
Oh, no, that's how those were taken. So you were the.
what they're talking about, like not dealing deceitfully or falsely. I think like
Okay, well, that was my.
like within your knowledge.
They looked at it like it was some kind of a-
Do you agree?
I just-
Yeah.
Mason, what do you think? Oh, Wally.
I really like before that, it's basically saying don't take everything for yourself, leave some for the poor and the stranger. I really just, it's basically saying to always give back to the community around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's obviously, you know, don't lie or steal.
Yeah, that's, I feel like obvious ones.
Yeah.
Alright, I figured out that you're coming in through the owl and not the computer. So I think we'll be able to hear you better from now on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Cool.
And then the other
You shall not defraud your fellow, you shall not commit robbery.
Same kind of
To
thing.
me, yeah, in similar vein and relatively straightforward. The wages of the laborer shall not remain with you until morning. Which I would assume is just like either like a morals thing or like just, pay people who do labor on the same day.
I think actually, I think it's almost saying wages shall not remain with you until morning.
Like if someone does work for me on a
Yeah.
Thursday, I should pay them on Thursday, not like, oh yeah, I'll pay you tomorrow.
Hold on to the money that you're meant to pay people. Again.
Yeah, shall not insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. So
Because they demand.
Yeah.
I think, again, kind of coming back to like being a good person, and not taking advantage of other people's weaknesses.
Yeah. Like the whole like you shall inherit the meek kind of thing. You shall not render an unfair decision. Do not favor the poor or show difference to the rich. Judge your kin fairly. Which personally I've always tried with, like humans are humans. Doesn't necessarily matter who they are, I don't know.
Yeah, just treat everyone equally.
Yeah.
Money shouldn't play a role in that.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know, maybe you interpret it differently.
Oh, yeah.
And not like, do you hate people? Do not deal basely with members of your people. Do not profit by the blood of your fellow.
And we're gonna, as we get.
Don't deal basely.
It's all about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, this feels like a lot of like the whole thing of like, well, I guess that's not true.
Do not profit by the blood of your fellow. I think again, kind of goes back to not taking advantage of other people.
Yeah, especially like those that are close to you and stuff.
Yeah.
I think with that one specifically, it's like people in your community, like your fellow would be like people that are close to you.
Yeah.
Don't take advantage of them. Like if you take advantage of them, you are not necessarily like disobeying, but going against what like God has said.
Yeah.
I know you could talk about this for hours, but we're gonna take like one more minute because there's two more pieces that I want to get to tonight. And hopefully they will be just as engaging. And this is text that you can refer back to so many times and rethink. The holiness code is, again, in our Torah reading, during the Torah cycle, when we get to this portion, the portion is called Kiddushim, which means actually holiness. We do this, but this is also the Torah reading for Yom Kippur afternoon. So we read this again, and actually for the last, not this year, but for the last, I don't know, 15 or more years, I chanted these verses in Torah, or some of them, not always all of them, but they have weight, and they have, and they make you rethink. And Yom Kippur is this time when we're thinking of what we can do better, and what better way to end Yom Kippur with really thinking, okay, I can do better. I can become holier in the next year. We're gonna go on to two more things. Yeah. I'm just gonna get, no, stay where you are. I'm just gonna get some, just getting my papers because I've got some stories.
Oh, it's working.
Yeah,
Yeah, I turned it on.
the owls were.
I didn't turn it on right?
No, how'd you do it?
Because I thought I pushed the button. Oh, you have to do it on
Yes.
the air.
If it's not selected in the video, it won't actually like activate until you select it.
Chris, you are so awesome.
Well, thank you.
He's the tech. You're my tech hero for the day.
Fair enough.
That's pretty cool.
So story time. And then because I've got a couple really good stories today, and also we're gonna get to some other things, but if we wanna think about how we wanna treat other people and treat ourselves, we're gonna talk about values and specific values. But for this, there's a story. So there was this town, and they were getting ready to have this wonderful celebration. It was a wedding ceremony. There was time for the reception, and everybody came in. They came in their finest clothes to come and celebrate this couple. And then knock, knock, knock on the door. And standing there outside the door is this beggar. And he's dressed so shabbily. And he's hungry. And he comes and he asks for something to eat. Well, I'm sorry, but we are having a celebration today. We can't help you. Slam the door in his face. They go about, they're all happy with everything they do. And a few minutes later, knock, knock, knock. And who's standing at the door? A fine-looking gentleman, dressed to the nines. Hello, I'm a stranger in town, and I was just wondering if I could stop for a meal. Oh, please, we're having a wedding ceremony. You must come and be our honored guest. Be the most honored guest of all. And come and sit. Time for the meal. And our guest gets served the finest food. What does he do? Takes the soup. You know the story? You're shaking your head right next to it. Takes the soup and he pours it in his pocket. He's looking at him, oh, kind of funny. Comes the next course. Beautiful, fabulous food. It looks so delicious. You smell it. And they give the honored guest the best portion. And he puts it in his pocket. And it goes on every course. He goes and he puts it in his pocket. And the host is very confused. And at the end, he just has to ask this man, I'm sorry, sir, you are our honored guest here. Why are you putting the food in your pocket? We thought you were hungry. He said, well, I was here before, dressed in my regular clothes, and you slammed the door in my face. You let me in based on my clothes, so I assume that it's the clothes that you wish to feed. And there are those who say this story, this man was really Elijah the prophet. Many stories of Elijah the prophet coming and doing something magical and disappearing, but there we go. Little story. So how do we treat other people? Don't we want to treat them all with respect and dignity, regardless? Something else to learn from our holiness code, but we're going to now think, and we're going to look at some quotes, different values. So what we'll do, and I'm going to actually email this to you. This is 21 pages long because I'm kind of crazy. I like quotes, and I've been collecting quotes, and also I do things with my 7th graders sometimes with quotes, and I have these collections. So I got to put them all together here, and it was just so many and so many. I'm like, wow. So I didn't want to print out 21 pages for everyone to deal with. So in your groups, you're going to get 1 or 2 of these values that you're going to read about. Read these quotes, and then you'll share one of them back with the group. You'll read the quotes, find one that you think is the essence of that value, and that's what you'll share back with the group, and then I'll email to everyone in the class all 21 pages so that you can have them. Does that sound good? So then if you just flip to the one that says values quotes across the top, and you guys get to start with the first one because there it's just easy as I'll give you. They're getting Tsar ba'alei chayim, kindness to animals. This group is going to get Hachnasat orchim, hospitality. You are going to get Derech Eretz, proper behavior, common decency. These 2 fine people are getting Bal Tashchit, do not destroy. You fine people are getting Tzedakah, righteousness. And you are going to pick, you are going to get this one page. We're skipping that around. You are going to get this one. It's got a few different ones. You're going to get. I know. You've got a whole bunch of little quotes. You're getting, different values. You're getting chidur pnei zaken, respect for the elderly. Pikuach nefesh, saving a life, and then there's a few more on the back. But so smaller choices of quotes, but more values.
Are we picking one for each?
No, just pick one. Pick one of those. If you have more than one value on your page, pick one value and one quote.
Okay.
Make it easy
Okay.
because I still have one more activity after this too.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Go, about 10 minutes
We just choose one of these. Okay.
Yeah.
and read them.
You come across a bird on any tree or on the ground, and it contains baby birds or eggs. And if the mother is sitting with her young, you must not take the mother along with her young. You must first chase away the mother, and only then may you take the young.
Kind of metal.
Water, I'm gonna
but,
grab my water.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't want the mother to suffer. Like, also for children.
I'm recording, so.
I don't get that one.
You good?
Well, yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah.
for
I just,
lack of a
like,
better term, it's
philosophically, I
very
don't-
old
yeah.
testament. You know what I mean?
Well.
Well,
This is
there's
Torah.
only one testament.
There's
Yeah,
just the
no,
Torah,
I
it's just
understand.
Torah.
It turned phrase, but.
I know,
yeah,
I know,
right.
but it is, you go through the whole, there's some that are newer. But,
Shall not
yeah.
plow with an ox and a donkey together.
Yeah, I try not to have as translations that are as old as
Yeah,
some, but
yeah,
it is an old text.
Mhm. The righteous person regards the life of their. That one. I can
Yeah.
get behind.
No, the home is like,
No person may buy a beast, an animal, or a bird until that person has provided food for it. Okay. Of all that God created in the world, God did not create a single thing that is useless. I like that too. You must not eat your own meal until you have seen it to that all your animals are properly fed. No person may buy a beast, an animal, or a bird. Oh, we did that one already. Even those things that you may hold superfluous in this world, such as fleas, gnats, and flies, even they are a part of the creation of the world. God carries out God's purpose through everything, even through a snake, even through a gnat, even through a frog. And God tested Moses through sheep. When Moses tended the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, one young kid ran away. Moses followed it until it reached a shaded area where it found a pool of water. There it stopped to drink. Moses approached it and said, I did not know you ran away because you were thirsty. Now you must be here. So he placed the kid on his shoulders and carried it back. Then God said, because you showed mercy in leading the flock of a mortal, you will surely show mercy when tending my flock of Israel. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, there's a few more. As far as pain is concerned, there is no real distinction between the pain of humans and the pain of animals, because the love and compassion of a mother for her young is not reasoned intellectually, but has only to do with emotions and instincts, which are found among animals no less than among human beings. If the law provides that such grief not be caused to cattle or birds, how much more careful must we be not to cause grief to our fellow man? And then compassion shall be extended to all creatures, neither destroying nor despising any of them, for God's wisdom is extended to all created things, minerals, plants, animals, and humans. Okay, Mason, were there any that resonated with you?
I like the second to last one. To me, I think that kind of like the whole, I know that not all Jewish people do it, but the not mixing of meat and dairy, because you don't want to take away from the baby while eating the mother. Like there's that idea, and even that is like a compassion for animals.
Yeah.
Because they don't really know, but we know, and it's important for us to acknowledge those things.
Absolutely.
Their pain is not any less real than ours.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, the second to last one was my favorite one, personally, the one that resonated the most with me.
Yeah. I like that. I also like the one that was talking about like even things that you hold superfluous in the world, such as fleas, gnats, and flies, like they all have a purpose and they all have, there's a reason
It does.
for each being that was created. Even ticks, Chris.
Yeah.
That's because there are so many, like, you don't even think about it, but so many times like that is like animals, mostly dogs, are like annoying or like, I'm afraid of bees, but it really all comes back to that. It's something that I have to remind myself more often, definitely.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to respecting, like life. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. We're a little bit crazy about our dogs.
I keep giving my little report to it. My little committee.
Oh, it's kind of funny how it has its split screen.
Yeah, it'll split between all the different speakers and stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I actually asked Frank how he did class.
Yeah,
We're trying to get this.
I like them.
We're falling apart on our Sunday Holy Bagel because I haven't gotten the list yet. So I just like go, oh.
So are we supposed to have family harmony as well?
Oh my God.
Well, it's just animals. Animals. I think they're just all on this page.
Okay.
And we just got the first one.
Yeah, this is nice.
Amazing.
Really nice. That would be a lot.
I said to, because Bob Israel's chairperson. He said, and I said,
No? Okay, I'm gonna get the water.
so they had to go, this is how.
Only got for a little bit, I guess. I think since we had to pick one,
You're a very good person to.
so you want to just go with the second to last one? Is that cool?
You are.
That one definitely resonated with me. I also think that the first one, because I was a little bit confused about the meaning, the one about if you see eggs and you want to take the eggs, don't hurt the mom. Because like to me, it's like that's still like not nice to take a mom's eggs, but like I think it's more about preserving her opportunity to have more eggs because statistically, like eggs they're not likely to grow up into like full grown birds. Like there's things that happen, but like leaving the mom bird to be able to try again is like what the real point of it. It's also like it's okay to take eggs and more like make sure that you're not ruining like the ecosystem by doing that.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
So I hope
appreciate the
that
interpretation.
I hope you enjoyed reading and discussing quotes from over the centuries. Some of these are right from Torah, some of these are from Talmudic period, some of these are much more modern or anywhere in between. And you'll see when you get emailed all of them, you don't even have to read them, but there are 21 pages of quotes. But to get a taste of some of these values, we're gonna go around and you're gonna tell us your value and which quote, and maybe we should use a mic for that so that what the other one's handheld. It should be on. If it's not on,
The owl?
Okay,
Pick up
no.
all the sound.
the owl may, but we're gonna make it easier so that we respect our friends on Zoom. We're gonna start with you guys, whoever wants to be your reader. Okay, so tell us the name of your quote or the translation of your quote, and then of your topic. You can give us
The topic is hospitality.
Okay.
All Israel is responsible for one another.
Thank you. Comes from the Talmud. It should say that. It comes from the Talmud. We're gonna pop back here, and you're gonna. So you just tell us.
Okay, ours is their parents or proper behavior for common decency. What does God demand of you? Only this, justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God.
If you want to, you can.
Accustom your tongue to say, I do not know, lest you be led to falsehood and be
Very good choices. Thank you. Okay. Coming to you guys, whoever wants it.
Oh, okay.
So tell us what your topic is. You can tell us in translation if that's easier.
Our topic was do not destroy. And what we really liked on this was Judaism teaches that what you do today affects what the world will be like tomorrow. Each generation is linked to the next by its actions. We depend on those who came before us, just as our children will depend on us.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that is very current, and that is very.
Yes, whoever wants. Okay.
We had Tzedakah, and we chose a quote from Mishpatim. It says, the ultimate purpose of the laws of Tzedakah is to nurture in people the qualities of mercy and kindness, and not just eliminate poverty. God could have accomplished that by providing for the needs of the poor without human intervention.
Okay.
Ours was saving a life, and the quote was from the Talmud, and it says, water may be heated on the Sabbath for a sick person.
Thank you. And one more group. Whoever's doing it.
Ours was kindness to animals. And the quote is from the Guide for the Perplexed, and it is, as far as pain is concerned, there is no real distinction between the pain of humans and the pain of animals, because the love and compassion of a mother for her young is not reasoned intellectually, but has only to do with emotions and instincts, which are found among animals no less than among human beings. That the law provides that such grief not to be caused to birds or cattle, how much more careful must we be not to cause grief to our fellow man?
Thank you. Thank you. So. So all of these values are how we interact with other people, which is so important. We also have to think about how we interact with ourselves. This is a time of year also when we really think more about that than other times of the year, though there's no reason why we shouldn't think about our actions and who we are all the time. But we spend this time doing what we call, this time of year doing what we call cheshbon hanefesh, the accounting of our souls. And yet, what does that really mean? And is that something that we only need to do before Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Well, my answer to that is to delve into Musar. So Musar is the ancient Jewish practice of becoming the best person you can be. I could call it character development, but that's a very poor definition, but it's often defined as character development. But Musar is looking at our inner traits and trying to keep them in balance. Because we're all filled with all of these traits. In Hebrew, we call them midot. Midah singular, midot plural. And a midah literally means a measure. So we're taking measures of all of these things inside of us. We can't get rid of them. Some things are like, oh, I don't want to be like that. We can't get rid of them. They're part of who we are. But we can keep them in check and in balance so that some of them don't overwhelm us, or some of them we can grow. So I have a story, of course. And then we're going to talk about some of these, and I'm going to share some books that I was going to bring just these books tonight, but I brought others. But it's actually not really a full story, but it could be a story. I also brought a book of some of my favorite stories. But Rabbi Simcha Bunim of Pershiyeshka, which is why I had to have the paper, because I know I didn't say that right, but Rabbi Simcha Bunim from somewhere in what today might be Poland or somewhere, said that everyone should carry 2 slips of paper with them, one in each pocket, whichever pocket you'd like to put them. In one pocket, you put the paper that says in Hebrew, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, or in English, we would say, the world was created for my sake. In your other pocket, you pull out the paper that says, Ba'anochi afar ve'efer, and I am but dust and ashes. What? I am but dust and ashes. Now, why do we need these? Well, when you're feeling very low, or that life gets overwhelming, you pull out that paper that tells you the world was created just for me. And when you're feeling a little bit too cocky, because the world was created just for you, you pull out the paper in the pocket that says, I am the dust and ashes. And this is how we balance ourselves. So that's how we're going to think before we really talk about some of these things. And if I could, I would do a whole class, a whole year on Musar. Now, Musar is a practice. It's not something you can just learn about. It's something you must do in order to become. So one of my favorite books, there's the Musar Institute. How many years ago? Like 5 years ago or so, I took a course. I as a teen facilitator in Musar through the Musar Institute. So I've been doing Musar practice with my 7th graders for like the last 5 years. And even before I was officially, or did the facilitator training to become an official facilitator for the Musar Institute with teens, I was doing a lot of this stuff with my kids anyway, just not officially, but not that it really makes any difference. It just gave me access to some wonderful material. This book called Everyday Holiness. Alan Morenis is one of the founders of the Musar Institute. He's written a bunch of really wonderful books, but this book goes through a little bit about Musar and spends each chapter on one trait. He just started a new blog that I'm also going to send you the link to, that I just started. We just started this blog a month ago about holiness. It's really good. So I will send that link. Not that you have to read, but I'm a fan. I also like because Musar helps me balance my insides. I've also loved that there's a Musar yoga to balance your outsides. And I've been doing yoga for a while, and and a friend of mine, friend since I was in kindergarten, is a yoga teacher. So we do, she does yoga with me, but she's in Maryland or sometimes she's in France, but we do it online. But I gave her a copy of this book. She thought it was the greatest. She's not Jewish, but she thought this was the greatest thing in the whole world, this book. And she started teaching yoga classes to a bunch of people, basing them on Musar principles. So this also looks at different traits and different ways to balance. So if you like to balance your outsides and your insides, this one is really good. I also have my Musar Torah commentary that every week looks at the Torah portion in relation to one of our inner traits.
Are these on this list?
Yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. As well as this one. This is a newer Musar book that I just got last year. Soul Construction, Shape Your Character, using 8 steps from but I want to talk about a few of these traits because we aren't going to have time to do all of them. So I need to give you a taste of Musar so that you can then look at it yourself. But if you ever want to ask me, and I will do with you, to read through or to do some of these things, because it's not something you should do alone either, though you can, but it means more when you have someone to check in with and to touch. When I took this course like 5 years ago from the Musar Institute for teen facilitation, we got paired with someone else in the course as our partner through the course. And the woman that I'm paired with, she lives somewhere on Long Island. Never met her in person. But every day, or okay, maybe 5 out of 7 days, we text each other at the end of the day to check in still. We don't really say a whole lot more, but we check in with each other still, to just do this. Anyway, it's a really great thing. I made a list of and this is not a full list of midot because there's endless midot, but I made a list of the ones that are found in a couple of these books that you could read more about. But we're gonna start and we're gonna talk about humility. Because when you practice Musar, whoever you're practicing Musar with, humility is where you start. Midot, they're measures. You literally measures, but they're character traits. I mean, when we think of them in English, we think about different character traits. If you look at this list, that's what they are. We're going to start with humility because this is the essence and this is where you start with everything, with humility. Oh, actually, Chris, you can put the list up on the screen for Mason.
Yep, gotcha.
Thank you. So in Hebrew, it's anava, humility. You don't have to remember the Hebrew for these because that's okay. But what do you, we'll start with this. What do you think of when I say humility? What's your definition of humility? Humble, being humble, okay.
Not prideful.
Not prideful. Okay, we'll start from that. Yeah, Richard.
Honoring the thoughts of others.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. Honoring the thoughts of others, he said. Yeah. And we think about going back to Torah. Moses is said to be the most humble. And we can think about Moses and who he is and maybe think how he fits in that definition. But if we look at the Musar way of looking at humility, what you need to do is take up your proper space. So it's as if we could draw a little circle around each of us. And humility is about taking up that space. You can take up your entire space, but don't go beyond your space and don't shrink in the middle of your space so that you are lost. There's often you think about somebody who's humble. There's somebody who's so small, they let everybody do everything. But you need to stand in your space and take your space. Not go beyond it and say, oh, I'm so great. But to acknowledge who you are and give yourself credit for that. So one of the pieces of Musar practice, different ways people practice when you wanted to remind yourself of this. But sometimes there's a little catchphrase that can help you to remember it and to think about it again and again. Maybe focusing on one midah, one trait at a time. And so what Alan Morena says, though I sometimes get it backwards, I can find in the book his exact words, but no more than my space, no less than my place. So let's try it. No more than my space, no less than my place. So that you don't overdo, and yet you don't shrink away. Which when I was younger, that was often my problem. I would shrink away. And sometimes, if I felt good about something, I would kind of be so excited that I actually felt good about something I was going to be overdoing. And then people would look at me like, yeah, she's real full of herself. And it was this one thing that I thought I could do, and then that would make me shrink back again. But you learn, and you have to practice, and you read, and you talk, and you think, and you work, and you balance. And each one of these traits, it's as if we have a continuum so that we can keep it in balance. So on one end, we are so great and we are so arrogant. And then in the middle, we're feeling really good. And on the other end, we're just going to shrink away. And that we need to keep it. Why we need to keep it in balance. So we always start with humility. And there's not really any order to go through the rest, however you would want to do them, if you want to do them. But if we look at gratitude, which is one of my favorites to come back again and again to. What do you think when I say gratitude? Anybody? Thankful, yeah.
Appreciative.
Appreciative. Grateful.
Just acknowledging sometimes things that you may have that others don't, whether it be like confidence or like things or, you know,
Okay.
relationships.
Good, yeah.
I think gratitude needs humility because you have to admit that you didn't create anything. So being gratitude is kind of like other people made stuff and I appreciate it.
We always start with humility. We always start and come back to humility. Yeah. Anything else? In Musar, we look at gratitude. Well, what is gratitude in Hebrew? Wherever it is on there. Hakarat hatov. What is tov? Good. Ha, we put in front of a word, it means the, so the good. Hakarat is to recognize. Literally, gratitude in Hebrew is recognizing the good. The hard part comes when you're not feeling very grateful. It's easy to feel grateful and to feel gratitude when you see a beautiful sunset. It's easy to feel gratitude when something wonderful happens. You're so happy. It's harder to feel gratitude in times that are more challenging. And yet, it's in those moments when you can find a little bit of good that you really find gratitude. That's what Musar gratitude, the idea of gratitude is all about. It's looking for the good when you don't think there is any. And still finding that little bit of good and saying, wow, okay, things are bad, but in spite of that, the sun is shining. Or I'm feeling really low. I'm sick. I don't want to do anything. But I'm not in the hospital. You find something, find some way, and you've got gratitude. I don't want to take, we'll do one more. So if we look at generosity, wherever that is on here, generosity in Hebrew is nidivut, which is not like hakarat hatov that we can really think. But when Musar talks about being generous, okay, here's the example. We have $100. We're going to give away $100. Well, if you had $100 to give away, how many people would you give? Would you find one person or one organization that gave you $100, or would you do something else? You don't have to answer, but think about it. But Musar is a practice. So in Musar, we would say, take $1 and give $1 every day for 100 days. So you practice generosity because it will make you more generous. You write a check for $100. Oh, I feel so good about that. That's great. You forget. And maybe you see somebody who needs that or needs something and you don't see it because you're off in your own world. But you give regularly and it becomes a practice. And you won't be able to drive past someone who needs something without giving. So, yeah. That's what Musar is all about. It's a practice of how we can make ourselves into the best people we can be today. How can I be the best person I can be today? Because I'll be a different person tomorrow. And that's okay. I want to be the best person I can be tomorrow. So I don't wanna sit here and say, oh, next year I'm gonna do better. I wanna do that now. I wanna work on it now because I have to start somewhere. So we start with humility. And we don't ever end because we keep changing, so we always have to go back to all of these and do them again and again. And yeah. So this is it's something that I feel very strongly about. It doesn't mean that you will, or that everyone needs to. But if I'm the teacher, then I can get to spend more time on this. This is something that truly resonates with me, so that I can keep both my inner and outer me as balanced as possible. And I think that it's good. I'm going to be emailing you all these things that we did tonight. I'm going to put this book list that I have there. That's not it. But I'm going to put the book list, take it from my computer, put it up on Google Docs and share it with everybody so that you can add to it. And next Monday, we do not have class because Erev Rosh Hashanah next week, so we do not have class, but in 2 weeks we are back. And in 2 weeks, we're gonna talk about God. So, yeah, we're gonna spend the whole evening, we're gonna talk about God. Yeah, so unless there's any other questions, I thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Mason.
My pleasure.
It's nice to meet.
Rabbi Phil did a class on you, so it was a series of classes.
All of them, any of them.
It was a little complex. But it was interesting.
Yeah, no,
You don't need to know.
no, because there's a link. If they made a recurring link, then it'll, yeah, it might take you a few minutes to get it set up.
I was trying to ask you a question on your
Yeah.
previous slide, but we never got there.
Oh.
How does one reconcile what was written about not destroying with our eating it?
That's an excellent question.
I don't see how it can be reconciled.
Well, with eating animals, things mixed.
Maybe.
Just want to make sure.
It's,
It says, do not destroy animals.
right.
Among any other things.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I suppose we're all would be, that's a question that's beyond me, but I bet we could find the text to explain.
Yeah, but that meant somebody wrote that text, so.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's these different.
Look, it is an idea, right, but then practically, yeah.
In America.
So you have the laws of kashrut, they try to be as kind as possible to the animal, but it's still, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah, as long as I'm not working.
What do you do?
I'm a PA.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But my hours are crazy, so.
Good for you.
I love it. They're really cute.
Cause the animal.
Well, yeah.
It's more fun.
That, work should be fun, that's fun.
Suffering terribly.
Yeah, but I'll
Where the
do what I
rabbi
can.
would.
Good. Well, now you're on my list,
Good.
so,
I'll see you later.
bye, Shana Tova.